Okay, so you have a couple of these pieces drawn with the modeling, and obviously if you didn't have the 3D modeling you'd have to draw this out from scratch, but this is the same section here. So hopefully you can see these things carved out as you're looking at this at an isometric 30-degree angle from either side. So here I'm going to take another square, again holding the shift key down will give me this this option here, so it's going to make it a rectangular shape. In this case, a shift key makes it a perfect square. Okay, so that's the section that's coming off. So this front piece that you see is what we're trying to render. So I'm just going to take the rectangle tool again and just draw another square with the shift key. I'll put it up here just so you can see it. The spacebar allows me to move it, so I'm trying to get it visually proportionate to that. And I'll give this a different color. So I have these two shapes, and I'm trying to center this. So when you take a look, you have a tool called the Align panel. When this is up, here's where it's listed right here. And when you take a look at all these icons, it tells the direction or how it's placed together. And when you leave the mouse over it, it'll tell you, a little flyout window tells you what it is. And Align 2, you can align it to the artboard, which is the 8.5 by 11 vertical format. You can do a key object, which is what I'll just click on for that one, and click on the center, and what happens is it moves it to the center. If I set it off to the side here, let me do it so it's a little more obvious, and click this to the key object. So right now I'm going to click it to the center. So these are centered. I want them to be at the top, the middle, or the bottom edge. I'm going to go to the top edge so it aligns them right exactly dead center for that piece. So now when I go to the Pathfinder, I have these options again, leaving the mouse over it. It'll minus this selection right here. So now I have this shape illustrated right to that section. So depending on the color choice, I'm just coming down to pick some of the coloring here to give it a look to it. And now it's a little bit longer than it is wide. So just trying to do some of the 3D stuff. And here's the extrusion, and here's preview. So this gives you this selection placed in there. The way this is in position, I'm just going to place this into the isometric left or right, and that gives you that selection. This is the distance that this is from the front. You can see how large it can become. So it makes it that selection. And more options will give you the options to light this. And again, clicking on another light to kind of build up the light source. If I click it again and set it down here, you can also click it to go behind the light source. And so it kind of gives you that selection. So now I have this view. Keep in mind, you can grab, in this section, you can change it with the little pie chart thing that you see here. You can type in the number, or just hit in the arrow, so you can see it on screen. And this rotates it around, and it shows the X, the Y, and the Z coordinate. You can just grab it right from the center here. You grab the RGB, so it's showing you the red, green, and blue for the different directions, or just the facade of this, so you can rotate it around. It shows it in a wireframe. Just remember not to have an outline to the object. And then here it is to the right. Okay, so that gives you that selection, or at least that shape, placed as an isometric drawing. Now keep in mind, the first two we did with the selection of the shapes and some of the limitations with the program to show you that section, and then the other ones we made with the symbol and these three pieces. So see if you can pull that section together.